My name is Babirye Racheal, and I come from Gomba district, and I have a lived experience of a psychosocial disability. In simple terms, a psychosocial disability, it's an internationally recognized term by the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities to describe experiences of people with impairments and participation restrictions related to mental health issues. I could mention some of them. You could talk about bipolar, schizophrenia, we have epilepsy, intellectual disability, depression, and so many others. First of all, these disabilities are not recognized as disabilities by the general population. So it becomes very hard to provide for them because you can't provide for something you don't know. There are things that election processes are very expensive because right from picking the nomination fees, it's long and very expensive, right from picking the nomination forms, the nomination fees, getting the nominees, because now, like for MP, you have to raise about 3 million, which is very expensive to someone with a psychosocial disability, because very few of them get a chance to get employed even when they have studied. So it becomes hard to be having such a source of money that can raise 3 million. So it's really a very big challenge to youth living with psychosocial disabilities. The other thing is that when they are passing on information for election, it's always in standard English, which is very hard to interpret by youth living with psychosocial disabilities. Because there are things that many of them, few of them get a chance to study up to higher levels. So it becomes very hard for them to interpret this information, which is always in standard English. The polling stations are always very crowded, and people with psychosocial disabilities are not resilient in such places which are crowded or even very shiny with a lot of sunshine, but also long lines, noise. At times they can be on the roadside or in places which are very noisy. Yet people with psychosocial disabilities cannot be resilient and can't do anything meaningful in such environments. When they are passing on information for election, they always speak so fast, and they don't even repeat for everyone to digest this information. Yet for people with psychosocial disabilities, you have to repeat several times for them to be able to digest what you're talking about. I would like to recommend the Electoral Commission and other relevant stakeholders to always to sensitize people to know that also psychosocial disabilities are also disabilities, and they should be recognized and also be provided for them to be very inclusive when they are doing electoral processes, because you can't provide for something you can't know. But when they get to know that they're also disabilities, they'll be in position to provide for everyone, for every youth who lives with a psychosocial disability. The other thing is that when they are organizing this information for election, they should put it in simple English. They should make sure that they don't ask a lot of questions. Let me say, if a youth with a psychosocial disability is going to pick nomination forms or they are registering, do not ask a lot of questions. It becomes very hard and creates a lot of anxiety. It even kills their confidence. They even get scared. And if they went with a caretaker who is not confident, because in most cases they depend on their caretakers. So just imagine if a youth had gone with a caretaker who is not also inclusive, and they are not patient with them, because you have to be patient, but also you have to listen very well and understand them. So that would be very inclusive if youth with psychosocial disabilities are to participate in these elections, which limits them from participating. So it's better we organize elections in places which are not crowded, which have less sunshine, but also which are not noisy. I recommend to the Electoral Commission and other relevant stakeholders to make sure that they reduce that nomination fee. Yeah? Just imagine if you want to become an MP, you have to raise 3 million, yeah? Which is very hard for a youth who lives with psychosocial disabilities, because in most cases we don't get chances of being employed to hire to big jobs, even if we have the qualifications and the capacity to manage them. They should make sure that the polling stations are not crowded, to avoid a crisis, like because someone with epilepsy, they can even collapse if you crowd the polling station. There's no breathing space, you're pushing them here and here. Remember, when they're standing in sunshine, they can even become dehydrated, yet their conditions require them to be hydrated. and some even can't afford a bottle of water. Just imagine they're standing in a very long line where there is sunshine, it is crowded, it's noisy, so it becomes very hard for them to participate. They can even lose morale. So also, when they're passing on information, they should repeat several times for these people to also do what? To also hear whatever they are passing on, and like I said, in simple language, but also not ask a lot of questions. So as I conclude, I can say that just understand us, believe us and support us, then we can be able to move together, to move forward for a developed world without leaving anyone behind, because there is nothing for us without us.